Hi everybody, welcome to Organizational Leadership and Informatics Week 3. All right, just a couple housekeeping things to start with. I had not realized that you guys did not have a community learning group assignment before. I noticed in some of the forums that you were saying you hadn't done one. So I am going to do my best to round up a, what would you call it? It's like a charter, a group charter kind of form. It has a place for all of you to input your contact information. It has an area that can help you divide out who's going to do what for an assignment, some of the norms of your group, things like that. It might just be something that can help you organize your work a little bit. So I will go ahead and either attach that to this video or round it up and do it in another post, but I'll post that for you. And then the other thing is I'm really looking forward to reading your first papers and seeing your thoughts and how you express yourself. Please know that I am teaching 3 courses in addition to my full-time work, and so I can't guarantee that those papers will be back before Wednesday. I've got a week to review them, but I will do my best to give you solid feedback on them. That's really my goal, something that you can use and benefit from that's not just superficial. All right. Objectives for this week. Okay, based on everything we do this week, we want to discuss the advanced registered nurse as change agent within the interprofessional healthcare environment. We want to analyze factors driving organizational change within healthcare organizations, including stakeholders and barriers. And we want to evaluate change theories and collaborative models for promoting successful change. Okay, so got a few things going on this week. We have our 2 discussion questions. First, we're going to be analyzing organizational change within an organization. You're going to be telling us a little bit about experiences that you've had. And then there's a little scenario about a community outreach committee within the state's nursing organization, and the participants are having a difference of opinion about what's included in a position statement, and it happens to involve spiritual care. So, of course, GCU is a Christian university, and so I'll be looking forward to seeing what you think about this situation and how it could be addressed in a professional and respectful manner. Okay, then the big thing is the assignment for this week. So you're going to be putting together a PowerPoint presentation, and apparently you're going to be discussing a change that didn't go as planned within an organization, and then you're going to be looking at, okay, so if I were to work with this change, how could I do it better? Or how could I and others come together to do it better? 10 to 15 slides on the PowerPoint, and the directions are really quite good, I think, this week. I think they're mostly self-explanatory. Please, please, please look at the rubric for this week. The rubric and the directions are very much tied together, but the rubric really gives you the level you need to achieve to get the points that you want to obtain, and just further clarifies the expectations for the assignment. Okay. If you haven't done a lot with PowerPoint, I just want to remind you that with the PowerPoint, you want to put the speaker's notes with each slide. So I'm not expecting a separate paper that has speaker's notes. Okay, so each speaker's notes, they show up below each slide, and you'll be putting a couple paragraphs or something down there. You are required to use current references, and so you'll be citing them in that writing or on your slide, or both. And then you will be having 1 or 2 reference slides at the end where you'll list those out. And there are some points for the presentation and the layout of your slides. If you haven't done a lot of them, there are just a ton of resources. If you just Google, creating effective PowerPoint presentations, something like that, you can get a lot of feedback. You don't want to crowd your pages. You want to make sure that there's good contrast between your background and the print, things like that. So take a shot at it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how you would approach a situation that maybe didn't go so well. All right, just a few thoughts then. This week is all about change, right? So a few thoughts on change. As an earlier manager and as a younger nurse, when I was involved with change, I was gung-ho. I wanted to get the group together. I wanted to set our objectives. I wanted to jump right in and get that change to happening. And some of you have maybe heard of the change process: forming, storming, norming, and performing, and sometimes adjourning as the end of that. That forming piece is much more critical than I ever thought it was. Getting to know each other, understand each other's perspectives if you're working with a team to create a change, understand expectations, defining roles, things like that. That forming is actually so critical. And then the storming is where everybody starts kind of brainstorming, and sometimes there's tension and sometimes it's not. Norming is kind of coming together. Okay, how are we going to do this? What are the rules? Things like that. And then, of course, performing is doing the actual work, and then adjourning is wrapping up. But I just had not realized in the past, I think, what that forming piece, how important that could be to the ultimate success of the project. And it's a step that is sometimes forgotten. The other thing is, when we want adults to change, there is certainly resistance at times, right? Especially if you have people who are very expert at doing things one way, and you're going to go in and tell them they need to do something another way. Doesn't always work. First of all, adult learners need to know why, right? You may have been living with this change for months, thinking about why it's good and planning it and all that good stuff. But when you present it to people, their first exposure is going to be change, and they might not even hear the rest of it. But so we need to consider that, and we need to take a step back and make sure we're really explaining, why does this change need to occur? Maybe there is research evidence. Maybe there's data from the organization. Maybe it's because of patient feedback, whatever the case may be. People need to know why, and they need to know, what the heck's wrong with our current way of doing it. They really want to be sure that they aren't going to be wasting their time on someone's whim about the latest trend in doing something. They really want to know what's in it for me, what's in it for my patients. So I would just caution you, when you're thinking about change, that we need to take the time to get people up to speed, like we are, with understanding where we're at and the need for change. We can't just throw change at people and expect them to be instantly accepting and be at the same step that we are in the change process. All right, so those are a few thoughts for this week, and we'll be discussing a lot more in the main forum, and I hope you have a great week. Looking forward to working with you.